Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. My guest today is Diane Orlofsky, here to talk about the trip to Carnegie Hall, the famous trip to Carnegie Hall. Thanks for joining me here today.
Oh, you're so welcome. Where do we begin?
I'd often heard, and I'm going to make the joke right off the bat, the way to get to Carnegie Hall was practice, but y'all took a slightly different route to get there this time. So.
Well, we did. We did practice an awful lot. But I think it was, people ask me, how was the trip? And I have only really one word to say, and that was spectacular. Spectacular on every front. It was educationally so valuable for these students to go there and to work, pretty intensively with the composer, conductor, offering his perspective. He was phenomenal with them. And I don't think there was really a negative aspect of it.
Well, and for anyone that's uninitiated that's watching this, give a little background about how you ended up getting the invitation to get up there and what brought this all about.
Yeah, I first had a friendship that developed when we worked with Eric in 2011. We commissioned a piece. He was here on campus for 3 days. It was a pretty formative time for our group. And we kept in touch through the years. And then last year, we commissioned another work. We Skyped with him. And then about a month after our time with him, working on this second piece, he issued the invitation to join him in New York.
And you've mentioned this before when we've had you here, but this was kind of the end goal of a request that was made by the chancellor that you were actually able to fulfill, whether you knew you were going to be able to or not.
It's pretty funny. I looked across, and of course the chancellor and Mrs. Hawkins were at the box across from me that evening. And it flickered through my mind again that when the building, John M. Long School of Music, was being built, he did say, now get us to Carnegie. And I at the time just said, yes, sir. But it did happen. And it happened because of the students' diligence and hard work.
Well, let's talk about, we'll get to the performance in a second, but let's talk about some of the educational aspects of this, because obviously the performance in and of itself is life-changing, but the opportunities it presented educationally as an educator, obviously amazing there as well.
Yeah, I think that was what I enjoyed watching the most, putting the students in the room, and you had 3 choirs. They were each balanced among themselves, and then he had a total of about 12 and a half hours of rehearsal spread over 2 days to get them all on one page. And Dr. Barnum is such an easy person to work with. And so delightful, and we were able to make very quick progress, and pretty much everybody was on the same page at the end of day 1.
and that's in addition to just working with someone at that level, but rehearsing at that level. And if any of your students decide to take it to a professional level, this is the kind of thing that they're going to have to run into eventually when they get out there.
I think one of my favorite parts was reading their heartfelt kind of reflections that they offered. One young man said, Dr. O, I'll never think about composition the same way ever again. Or someone else said his rehearsal pacing was the most masterful I've ever seen. These are the kinds of things that have long-term.
Wait, his was the most masterful, so does that make you feel a little...
Yeah, well, it gives us all something to work on, definitely. I'm the first one to say, do it like that.
Yes, and so let's talk about the performance itself, because obviously that's ultimately the highlight. And I guess the excitement starts even with sound check. You had talked about that moment you knew you were there.
Why watching their faces. I had that reaction where my jaw dropped when I heard the acoustics in the building, but then watching them react to that time going, wow, and here we go.
And so sound check of one thing, but then the actual performance itself, when you get there and you're on stage for the real deal performance, it's got to be the moment that just tingles.
Well, when you look out from that stage, there's 2 tiers of box seats and balcony, and it was almost full, floor, balcony. I think that was just stunning in and of itself.
And now the performance is over, you're back, and kind of the euphoria, maybe subsiding a little bit, to looking back at it, to what do you think some of the biggest takeaways from this experience are going to be for you and for the kids?
Well, I think that they bonded as a group, very close. They saw each other in different lights. I ran into a student yesterday who is getting ready to graduate, but I asked him, I said, "You have any regrets?" And he looked at me, he goes, "I wouldn't change a thing." He said, "I will remember that for the rest of my life." And he's not a music major. And so I think there is we invested in their lives, and it paid off.
And that's one of the things, you say investment, and this is, I guess I'll give you the opportunity to thank at this point, because there was an investment by folks all over to help you get
all
there.
over that. You know, we had this year-long campaign, and my heart is very grateful, as are the students, for the $25, the $50, the $1,000 for my business, or whatever in between. It was a long haul, and I think they appreciated it so much more because they had to work for it.
Well, sounds like it was an amazing experience, and I'm sure we'll have you on again, maybe talking about maybe a return trip someday down the road. So, Diane,
thank you.
Thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.